Shaq Barrett's going to be number one on my list. I also have Trey Hendrickson from the Saints as number two. I have Kenny Galladay at number three. I have Jameis Winston at number four. And then I kind of have a 2.2 headed monster here between Jonu Smith and Hunter Henry being available, the top two tight ends available on the market. We do know a lot of playoff teams did kind of need that final little bit of a push in terms of the tight end production game. So first and foremost, I want to start with Shaq Barrett. You pretty much touched on every aspect of it as it is. I'm just going to reiterate. Jacksonville is the perfect fit for him because they have the most money to shell out. Tampa Bay has paid a decent amount already to their current players and Chris Godwin getting tagged. And then obviously Levante David getting his deal. So I don't know how much money they can restructure in terms of making sure that he's the top paid pass rusher available. Tom Brady is renegotiating his deal. Mike Evans is renegotiating his deal as well. But at the same time, you do have to realize that they have some other needs that they need to address as well in terms of their cornerback depth. We know that they need to re-sign some players there, as well as Rob Gronkowski's contract has expired. And Ndamukong Suh's contract has expired too. We don't know if they want to keep that defensive line pretty much relatively together. And Devin White's contract is going to be coming up next season. So they do need to leave some kind of room to be able to re-sign their core linebackers. So I think Shaq is for sure gone. Jacksonville just makes the most sense. So I'm not really going to continue there. Trey Hendrickson, another player, just like Shaq Barrett, who's been productive over the last few couple of years. Last season, he had over 12 sacks in New Orleans. We do know that New Orleans is over 50 million in the cap. So he is for sure going to leave and seek a payout. I think the best fit for him would be the Indianapolis Colts. Here's where my bias comes in. We already have DeForest Buckner. Justin Houston's on the free agent market. We have Danico Autry on the market. We are worried about re-signing Darius Leonard and some of our offensive linemen to some key big deals. I think that Chris Ballard is going to focus on making sure that the pass rush position is filled to the fullest. We have about $40 million in cap space, if not a little bit more. So I think that Trey is going to kind of fit, that perfect mold to go alongside DeForest Buckner and make our pass rush and our defense that much better. So then sliding into Kenny Galladay, I know that this team doesn't have a lot of space, but I know that they will find a way to get it done, in my opinion. I think that the New York Giants should go after Kenny Galladay. Listen, we know that Daniel Jones has been put in a very rough situation. There are games where Daniel Jones just doesn't look like he knows how to throw the ball. But at the same time, the Giants' offensive line, as well as their offensive weapons, have been lackluster, to say the least. Saquon Barkley going out with an ACL injury last season really hindered their rush game. I mean, their best receiver last year was, oh my God, what's his name? Golden Tate was just released, but it was, oh my God.
Darius Slayton?
Yes, Darius Slayton. And I think he had like, what was it, 5 touchdowns this season. 3 of them came in one game. So, I mean, within the first 2 or 3 weeks, they need some more depth on the offensive end. Saquon will probably come back more along the lines of the middle ladder of the season, maybe the game 3 or game 4, maybe after the first quarter. It really depends on how the rehab is going based off of what I've been seeing video-wise. Him and Odell have been working out tirelessly every single day during the season and this offseason thus far. So I think that the Giants, paired with Daniel Jones being in year 3, Kenny Galladay coming in, obviously the injuries are going to be a worrisome topic at best. So I think that does hinder his actual price tag. But if the Giants can find a way to work him in, I think that gives Daniel Jones a big target to really to look at and make sure that he can get plays downfield. Sliding into my next pick, Jameis Winston is probably the best available quarterback in this market. Obviously, most people would say the best fit for him would be in New Orleans because of Drew Brees' indecisiveness of whether he's coming back or not. However, like I had stated, them being so far over the cap, I don't know if Jameis is going to want to sign another small deal. Not that Jameis did a lot, but when Jameis did come into the game, he did play very well. And we all know that Jameis is still relatively young, so he might seek a 2 or 3 year deal to prove himself. Where I see him going, it really depends, because Kyle and I were actually talking about this off air. There are a lot of teams in the NFL right now, or should I say in the AFC, that have a quarterback of the future. Some of them being in the later years of their contracts. Obviously, Pittsburgh with Ben being in the last year of his deal. We don't know the situation that's going on in Houston. Coaching staff continues to say that Deshaun is staying, but we don't know. Vegas, they said that they're backing Derek Carr. We don't know with John Gruden. Tua is going to be staying in Miami, but the trade rumors for Deshaun Watson were in the rumors as well. The Jets, obviously, the Jets are in a situation of either trading Sam Darnold, drafting a quarterback, trading up. So I don't necessarily know where Jameis is going to go that isn't a backup role. But if I had to make a pick, I would probably say the Washington football team. Alex Smith was released. They don't necessarily have a veteran quarterback on the roster other than Taylor Heineke. So I would think that maybe he can go into that system. With the Deshaun Watson situation continuing to kind of go in a circle, maybe the Chicago Bears, they've been looking for a solid quarterback for the last couple of years as well, since Jay Cutler, maybe even earlier than that. So there's a couple of teams that I think, but like I said, the two teams I would probably assume would be the Washington football team and the Chicago Bears. And then sliding into my last free agent or free agents, because I kind of did a duo pick here. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, both being of the age of 26 years old in the prime of their careers. We all know the production that Hunter Henry can produce, but the injuries have kind of held him back between his knees. So I think that his market does kind of take a little bit of a dive because of him being injury prone. Nevertheless, when healthy, one of the most dynamic playmaking tight ends in football. And Jonnu Smith, kind of a disciple of Delaney Walker out there in Tennessee. We saw that he was mainly used or utilized as a run blocking tight end, but over the last couple of years, he has shown that he can play stellar football. Some teams that I would think both of them, or should I say one of them, would work in would be the New England Patriots. Like Kyle said, they are lackluster on the offensive side of the football. They need to address the quarterback position first. We don't know if they're re-signing Cam. We don't know if they're going to go after quarterback in free agency. We don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback. But if they can start building a team around, or if they can start building a team and then kind of insert a quarterback, both of these guys would be great options. If not them, I do know that there are some other teams out there that can use a tight end. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I know that they're over the cap, but they can definitely use somebody. The Green Bay Packers, I know that they're inconsistent. Mercedes Lewis is getting up there in years. The Seattle Seahawks, they did lose Greg Olsen, but again, they need to focus on the offensive line issues. The list kind of goes on from there, but I mean, the market is going to be phenomenal for the both of them, and I think that they are both going to seek out a decent payday. So, I mean, those are my free agents, and those are the locations I think they go.